welcome to another discussion organized by the Malta Airport Foundation. And today I have the pleasure to welcome here with me Professor Timmy Gambin. Thank you for joining us. He's a maritime archaeologist, and today we're going to speak about another interesting project. This time it's a shipwreck. So the Malta Airport Foundation is currently supporting you as you excavate the oldest known shipwreck in the central Mediterranean. Can you tell us more about this shipwreck that dates back to the Phoenicians, right?
Yes, the University of Malta was conducting a survey in 2007 when we came across what we call an anomaly, a target. When investigating this further, we realized that nearly straight away that this was something special. We realized it was an old, very old shipwreck, not quite as old as it turned out to be. Those were our initial thoughts, and since 2018 the foundation has been supporting us to delve deeper, to excavate the shipwreck, to find out more about who these Phoenicians were.
It must be very interesting. However, the depth at which this shipwreck is found is quite a challenge.
Indeed, we're the first team to excavate beyond 100 meters, and at the moment we're the only team anywhere in the world to carry out this work. Excavations have been done deeper, but with robots. We're the first team to do this with divers. It's very challenging. It takes a lot of preparation, about 10 months of build-up. Everything from the logistics of where the international team are going to stay, the gases we're going to use, the length of time we're going to spend on the seabed, and also planning what we want to achieve scientifically. So it's a very, very complex and challenging project indeed.
So it must require special skills from divers as well.
In fact, most of our team congregate on Gozo from all around the world. We've got people from South Africa, the United States, Italy, UK, Belgium.
How nice.
Yeah, it's a very eclectic group. Each member of the team brings his or her own speciality. Some are specialists in carrying out 3D surveys underwater. Others are extremely talented and experienced deep sea divers. We've got a project doctor who's actually from Malta, but so we've got all these different people who once a year travel from all around the world. They come through the Malta airport, and then they're shipped off to Gozo, where we spend 5 weeks exploring this extraordinary site.
I know that you have elevated some artifacts from the shipwreck. Will these artifacts actually be available to be seen by the public?
Yes, one of the part of the vision that we had when we approached the Malta International Airport Foundation was to pledge that this project would not be solely scientific or just for the few academics that are interested in the Phoenician period, but we wanted to take the information and take our discoveries to the general public. In September 2019, we launched the Phoenician Shipwreck exhibition at the Citadel in Gozo. Unfortunately, this has been closed because of COVID, but to counter that, what we've done is we've launched a virtual exhibition. So whilst the exhibition in the Citadel has been closed, through underwatermalta.org, which is a virtual museum that expounds all of Malta's underwater cultural heritage, we've actually displayed the Phoenician shipwreck in a virtual manner. So now people don't need to physically go to the exhibition at the Citadel, but they can visit it from the comfort. They can visit the shipwreck from the comfort of their homes.
That's amazing indeed. Malta is truly a diver's paradise. Last year, another 3 underwater heritage sites were open to the public. What is an underwater heritage site?
In Malta, we're blessed with fantastic underwater topography. So divers come to Malta for the boulders, for the drop-offs. Some years ago, there was a fantastic vision from those in charge of bringing divers to Malta, and they scuttled a number of artificial reefs, in popular dive areas. To add to these, what we've done over the past 2 years is we've started to open historic shipwrecks to the general public. And this is important because we believe that people should not only be able to visit the War Museum, but they should also be able to visit a World War II shipwreck. And so Heritage Malta has set up a system whereby divers can book through a registered dive school. There is all the information about that particular wreck site available via the website, so they can read up about it. They can actually visit the site in 3D to see where they're going to dive, and then after purchasing their ticket, they can visit the historic shipwreck site. The vision is to turn Malta into a mecca, into a center for technical wreck diving. There is nowhere else in the world where there is such a large concentration and variety of deep sea shipwrecks. So we have a massive advantage. People land here at the airport, they travel short distance to the hotel, and all the shipwrecks that are open are within sort of relatively easy reaching distance by dive boat.
How many shipwrecks around the island? Any idea?
We have an idea. It would be sort of unprofessional of me to say that we don't have an idea, but on the other hand, I can't give you a number because as we speak,
others might be found.
I have a team, 2 members of my team, who are out with a sonar exploring an area of Gozo, off Marsal Front to be precise. I've got another team that are diving a shipwreck to record it in 3D to add to the virtual museum. So we're adding new sites, I wouldn't say on a daily basis, but definitely on a monthly basis and sometimes on a weekly basis.
That's great. Tell us more about the virtual online museum. You've been mentioning it, and I think it's an amazing tool for the public at home to enjoy and for the divers themselves.
The idea stems from the fact that there's a very small ratio of the population that dives. And from that diving segment of the population globally, there's an even smaller ratio that can dive to certain depths. So for now, with the technology that's available, accessibility is very limited. This did not put us off opening the sites because there are people who want to dive, there are people who want to travel, so we've done everything to accommodate these kind of divers and these kind of travelers. But what about the vast majority of the world's population that doesn't dive to these depths? So rather than taking people to the site, the idea behind the virtual museum underwater Malta was to take the sites to the people. To do that, we've got to first discover, we've got to first know that they're there. We've got to dive and record them in 3D so we can present them in 3 dimensions as seen by the divers themselves. And then we had to bring in some creative people to actually design the site. All of this, results in it's not just a website, it's an educational tool. It's a marketing tool for the islands because people can explore it and say, wow, I want to go there. And if not dive, I want to visit the museums, that celebrates the history of these fantastic islands. So it's an educational tool, it's a marketing tool, it's a planning tool for divers. We're adding 3 sites. Again, as we talk, I've got the web developer. We've sent all the information for three more sites to be added to the museum, and we've already penned the 3 sites after these. So the museum is not something static, but growing year by year.
It's changing all the time, indeed. And it's also very hard to preserve such heritage sites in open seas, no?
Unfortunately, these sites, you cannot preserve them. One of the questions I get asked most often is sort of, are you going to bring it up? But the expense of bringing up something like a submarine is, the expense and the challenges are huge. And I would say even next to impossible to preserve, 60 meters of rust. It's not impossible, but it's very, very, very challenging and hugely expensive. And with so much cultural heritage on land and underwater, I believe it would be hard to justify doing such a project, executing such a project for one particular site, when there are so many cultural heritage sites that need attention. So our work of recording in 3D, not just the Phoenician shipwreck, but our other underwater cultural heritage, serves to record these sites as they are in 2020, because they will not remain the same.
Indeed.
These sites are decaying quite fast. So we're also saving these sites in a way for future generations.
So the sooner you discover the shipwrecks, the better it is. Thank you very much for being here with us today. That's a very interesting project. Good luck in finding more shipwrecks, and we'll meet next time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.